This should be fun. Hear this thing run every once in a while. For those of you that don't know, this is my 1990 Ford Festiva LS Turbo swapped. Okay, on with the install. And here they are, Maxpeedingrods. See, there's no S in between there. Fancy. Anyway, so the box arrived to me. A little damaged, but that's just to be expected. Inside the box, got some documentation, some foam, and our new coilovers. Let's get these bad boys unwrapped and up on a table. And don't they look pretty? So here's how this deal went down. The Festiva desperately needs new struts. They are all blown. And since I have all the additional weight of a V8 up front, it makes it really hard to drive the thing. It rubs and scrapes everywhere. So I thought to myself, if I have to buy new struts, why don't I look at getting a set of coilovers? Because these were literally less than $100 more than buying new struts alone for my car. If I remember correctly, these struts were something like $210 or $230, which is ridiculous. The biggest advantage is that they're made of an all aluminum housing. So for instance, the casing is aluminum, the top hat is aluminum. If something were needed to happen, like I needed to raise the car up even further than the coilovers would allow, we can always weld a plate to the top of these and then reinstall them, and then we'll get the additional space and height. I do like the fit and finish of these, to be fair. It should also be known that this is my first set of coilovers ever, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So with my basic understanding, this is a lock ring or a lock collar. This one allows the spring to get more or less compression, so that probably adjusts how smooth your ride is. So it looks like there's still some threads up here, so we could tighten this up even further to make it stiffer. We'll wait on that for a minute. But down here, you can notice that this can unthread. So it looks like we can separate this lock collar, and then we can take this, and it looks like it's just going to thread all the way out. Woo. So it will come all the way out. That's good to know. So since I need max ride height and I want to be safe, I'm going to thread each of these in about 5 threads worth. So because I need max ride height, I'm going to unthread all of these coilovers, just like that one, and then rethread them all in roughly about 5 threads worth of distance. That way at least there's something engaging to the threads in this lower assembly, because remember, we're going to be putting all of our weight on that little seam. Now that all the lower housings are off, I was thinking about maxing out this upper one so that it was the stiffest ride possible, but honestly, with how much depth I have to work with, and especially with the fronts, they are way longer, I figure it's just best to install them with a few threads engaged. We'll put it into the car and then we'll see how the ride is, because I can always adjust it from there. Also, since the top hat will have to be bolted in place to hold the assembly, we can then tighten this or loosen it much easier, because on the ground here it's going to be hard for me to do, to hold it and to tighten it down. In the car will be much easier. So how I said I wanted 5 threads of engagement, what I did was I moved the lower lock collar all the way down to those 5 threads, and now I'm just going to spin all these back in. It's a very good marker. I had a Sharpie on it before, but honestly this is way easier. I'm going to start with the backs because that's what I'm most familiar with on this car. I've had these things on and off probably 50 times. So I'm going to loosen the lug nuts, jack up the car, take the wheel off, support the car properly, and then remove the strut assembly. Here we have the old rear strut assembly out, but as you can see, hopefully, at least I do with my trained eye, that's a joke, we're already starting this much higher with the new strut assembly. So that's a very good sign. And we do still have a couple threads we can go up with on the spring mount side. I guess let's get back to reinstalling. Well, doesn't that look pretty? Now, I should say that the chassis of this Festiva is actually an NA Mazda Miata. And if you were buying these for your stock Mazda Miata, they fit perfect. Yeah, nothing required to change anything, so that's pretty good. I guess I'll slap the wheel back on and hope for the best. Oh, well, that's a big difference. Holy crap. Wait. Is this gonna work? At first I thought I was just buying nice stuff for my car, but wait. That's like legit clearance. Holy crap. Oh, well, wait. To compare it to the other side, that's like, you know, a couple fingers, if that, but over time it just sort of drops. So we could be on to something here, boys. That's kind of reminds me of that dog. Okay. This might work. I guess let's go ahead and change all the rest and see what we end up with. Oh, and look, you can see where it's been apparently grabbing and folding this back over, so I'm gonna have to try and fix that while it's up. Okay. Let's get to work. So I just got the second one out and I thought maybe I should touch base on these. These are spring spacers. It's like a polyurethane, very dense rubber. And although they did work, it didn't give me the height needed to not scrub. So if you just had to go a little bit higher, and you can stack these, you could put like another set up here if you could actually fit it in there. But honestly, it's because of my blown struts. If I just replaced the struts, I'm sure the spring spacers and the springs would have been enough. But when I saw that the price of these was only a little bit more than buying just struts, you see which way I went. Old and busted, new hotness.
Hold on, I don't know what I'm doing. Ugh. That's not what I'm trying to do. Hey, how do I zoom? Hey, buddy. Oh no. I'm recording. I don't know what I'm doing. I tried to... Oh. Okay, I guess I don't need this on. Oh, yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. You're making me uncomfortable.
I can't see shit with these rims. It's too bright.
That's actually better. Alright. You're gonna listen to that conversation editing and be like, what the f is going on? First, me moaning, then saying, you're making me uncomfortable.
Slowly.
Oh, that's way better.
Cool. So that's it. She's all raised up. I'm not sure what good this episode's gonna do you, but I sure had fun. I had some closing thoughts I wanted to mention. I was pretty tired before, but now that I've had a nice shower and food, we're good to go. So as you can see, I do have some clearance here, but it doesn't look like a whole lot compared to the back. Now, it doesn't mean that there isn't the potential for a lot of ground clearance. You know, when I mentioned that we were going to only use 5 threads at the bottom of it, so as soon as we stuck it up, we realized that the front struts, the coilovers, were like way longer in general. So we ended up going almost halfway up those. Obviously with the coilovers you can change them as much as you want, and you can also change the spring tension. So we left the spring tension, the upper piece, exactly where it came from, and all we did was move the collar up and down and then lock it in place. But honestly, as far as these Maxpeeding coilovers go, I'm pretty pleased with them. I mean, I don't know if you guys want them, but I'm just going to put a link in the description below. So that will give you the opportunity to pick up the stuff yourself. Again, these are originally made for an NA Miata and certainly not holding 800 pounds of extra weight up front with a V8. So, yeah, is going to wrap up this episode. It is super bright and hot outside, and I can't wait to relax. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.